Hello, you guys. I'm just chiming in for another training this week, and I did want to do these training live, but since we are on the road so much right now, it's kind of hard for us to predict when we're going to have reliable Wi-Fi and things like that. So I did have to pre-record this message and this video for today, but that's okay. I'm here for a new training on a new perspective related to you and outdoor adventure and backpacking. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Allison. I am the founder of She Dreams of Alpine, which is an outdoor adventure website, and I am also the founder of the Become an Outdoor Backpacking Badass program. I'm an outdoor adventure and backpacking coach for women around the world, and my mission is to help women step into their unique strength and courage by taking real ownership of their safety on the trails and by becoming self-sufficient outdoors so that they can feel confident and capable of turning their biggest outdoor dreams into a reality. And it doesn't matter where you're starting from, how old you are, what your weight is, what your financial background is, or your experience in the outdoors to start with. Being confident and self-sufficient in the backcountry is available to you. And I teach you how to get there without the overwhelm and the fears that have since been keeping you stuck. So that is all about me. If you are new here, please feel free to pop in your name below, say hello. I'd love to get to know you a little bit better, and that would be great. I'd love to see your comment below so I can say hello to you personally. We are going to get started now on the training. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 3 lesser known benefits of prioritizing outdoor adventure in your life. Now I'm going to switch to some slides, so just give me a second to do that, and then we'll teach from the slides. It's just a little bit easier so you can kind of visually see some things and keeps the training better. So, okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so here we go. As I mentioned before, today I'm going to be teaching on the 3 lesser known benefits of prioritizing outdoor adventure in your life, so that you can understand that making the time to get outside is so beneficial and essential to your self-care and your personal growth, even if you're a busy mom or you have a lot on your plate with maybe work or school. Like, I completely understand being busy. I used to work a full 9-to-5 job, 40 hours a week, and sometimes prioritizing getting outside was a really big struggle for me, especially if I had a lot of projects on my plate and stuff like that. So I completely get it. One of the biggest things I hear from my audience and my students is that they so badly want to go on big adventures outdoors and finally learn how to go outdoor backpacking. But the thing they feel like holds them back the most is they don't have time. Many of them also feel like it is selfish to want to go out on the weekends, especially if their family is less inclined to do so with them and they would have to be going alone, meaning like they're taking time away from their families or taking care of their families. I know a lot of you guys feel like that. So I'm here to show you today that you are not selfish for wanting to prioritize outdoor adventure in your life. And that is kind of what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about the 3 benefits to getting outside regularly and making outdoor adventure a priority in your life. So the first benefit is Mother Nature is the ultimate form of self-care, in my opinion, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, my friend. One of the best ways I know how to really break away from the stress of day-to-day demands and the commitments that we have to our families and our work lives and our projects is to take some time for myself, either by walking around the office or the neighborhood or going out on the trails for like a solo hike or something. Back when I was a full-time engineer, I used to spend most of my week pining away for the weekend, but one way that I used being at the office, a way to de-stress from that environment, was that I would take these like little mini breaks, like 15 minutes or 30 minutes a couple times a day, and take a walk around the office. And when you do this, I think this is great to like incorporate into your week, in addition to maybe prioritizing going outside somewhere maybe more pretty than your office. But I think it's important to do this also sprinkled throughout your week, because it gives you a chance to kind of leave the chatter behind. I definitely recommend just putting the phone down for like 10 minutes and just stepping into your own thoughts and really listening to what you have to think and what you're saying in your mind, so you can kind of really decide like what can you drop, what's kind of been stressing you out, just kind of tapping into yourself a little bit better. And usually it's just a really great place for me to be like, why am I so stressed out about this? And just like let it go. Yeah, so it's really like a great time to listen to your own thoughts and be your own internal compass. So that is one of the good benefits. And then if you can take this a step further, try to go on at least one solo hike a month. Now, I know that might be a stretch for some of you. Maybe it's one solo hike a quarter. But I think it's so powerful to step away and go solo. I love going with friends, and that's usually what we're doing all the time. I'm with Michael, or I'm with some other friend on the trail. But there's something different about going on your own, because you really have to listen to yourself. Maybe you have some fear of going alone too. So you're really kind of listening to that negative chatter that's coming up in your mind, which is a good thing to start listening to, because you're like, wow, I should start talking to myself a little bit differently, like, and believing in myself a little bit more. Just notice what comes up for you on the trails, and then let it go and just enjoy the experience and kind of de-stress from everything and just enjoy getting fresh air and being outside. If you are new to solo hiking, definitely learn some tips to stay safe on the trails. I do have another video and my videos on this Facebook page that talks a little about solo hiking safety. So definitely want you to feel safe when you're going to do that in a bigger trail or something like that. But once you do feel comfortable, or if it's a trail that you've done a whole lot, I think this is a great opportunity to kind of like take that self-care an extra step further. The next benefit I wanted to talk about is that getting outdoors and prioritizing outdoor adventure is a workout and training for your mind. So since I first started backpacking back in 2013, I feel like I've been essentially on this huge personal growth and mental strength journey along with it. There is a lot of failure and a lot of learning when you start to push yourself and go outdoors more and seeing what you're truly capable of. And so when you do this, you're going to be pushing yourself mentally so much. And it's awesome. It's a really, really great opportunity, because you kind of don't see it at first. You just think, I'm just doing this hard thing physically, but you're also doing this hard thing mentally, because you have to overcome a lot of the mental chatter that's going on in your head in order to take yourself to the next level. Sometimes there are tears. There's also a ton of I can't breathe moments, and a lot of can I actually do this self-questioning. So on the flip side of that, though, there is also an amazing sense of accomplishment when you do finally overcome these challenges. So getting outside teaches you that you need both the failures and the wins to become the next level version of yourself. And I think that's extremely, extremely valuable, because we don't get that a whole lot in life. Like, our lives are pretty comfortable for the most part these days. Like, all of our food is in a grocery store, like we can go to a gym to work out. We don't have to work out. We could just like watch Netflix and be cozy. But if you decide that you want to do like a big peak, or you want to do this long trail, like, you're actually going to have to put in the work, and you're going to have to put in the mental work to overcome the negative chatter and the disbelief that you have when it feels really hard. And then, yeah, you're going to fail sometimes, but that's part of the whole process. And then once you do eventually kind of reach the summit or reach your goal, it just feels so awesome. This lesson has so much value to our lives outside of the trail as well. We can start to look at everything we do through the lens of, yeah, this is hard, but I know I can endure this. And I know that this pain that I'm experiencing right now is part of my journey of becoming my best version of myself. You can literally apply this to any area of your life. So I've been able to take some of those really hard peaks and some of those failures and look at my day-to-day life and situations that I've had and been like, I know I can handle this. I've done like harder things. I know that this feeling or this pain that I'm experiencing right now is temporary and almost sometimes necessary to get myself to the next level. So I think the outdoors has a lot of lessons to teach you about that. Through outdoor adventure, you will also gain things like self-confidence and courage. You'll gain resilience, which is incredible to start practicing and getting. And then, like I mentioned before, you'll get a better understanding of that necessary balance in life, the kind of the failures and the wins. You need both in life. Both of things are happening. Without the failures, the wins quite wouldn't be as sweet. Like if I always think about it like this. If I could just drive to the top of Mount Whitney, it wouldn't be that much of a accomplishment or great feeling in my body. Like I just would be like, oh, I drove to the top of Whitney. Cool. Like actually there's a summit in Colorado, Mount Evans, that's like a very, very short 5-minute hike. You can basically drive to the top of this 14er. And it was really cool. Like the views are really awesome, but I just don't have the same sense of accomplishment from that. I didn't really grow from that experience. But a peak like Whitney taught me so much about myself and taught me a lot about digging deep and finding my strength inside myself to keep going when it was hard, when I couldn't breathe, when I was tired, and all those things. So I think you definitely need both in life. There's this quote I really love. This kind of just wraps everything I've been saying together. It's by Steve House. I think this was in his book, Training for the New Alpinism, but don't quote me on that. But I'll read the quote real quick. It says, "Today, climbing has shown me a courageous, strong side of myself, a beautiful bravery. Other days, I've seen pitiful weakness. I've watched myself crawl belly flat across a mountainous landscape of fear. Climbing has showed me that I am all of these things, strong and weak, brave and cowardly, both immune to and at the mercy of the fear of death, all at the same time. Risk is the fee to learn these lessons. The cost is not negotiable. It is a price that for now, I pay gladly." I just love that quote. Okay, so I want to challenge you to push yourself to prioritize getting outside, and you'll see how it helps you grow your mental strength and your resilience throughout your whole life. If you can relate to this at all, just let me know. Type in the comments, like give me a hell yes or like an amen. I know some of you know what I'm talking about, so just let me know. The third and final benefit I wanted to talk about today is that prioritizing adventure and getting outdoors teaches you how to step into a leadership role. Maybe you've never considered yourself as a leader before, or maybe you don't feel like you're qualified to be a leader, or being a leader and where you are now feels like this huge gap for you. But what I want to tell you is actually not as hard or as challenging as you think, especially as you learn the skills that you need to know with outdoor backpacking. This is what my main goal is in my backpacking program. Become an outdoor backpacking badass. I want the women in that program to come out of the program feeling like they can lead their friends and their families on any trip that they want to go on, so that they don't feel like they're the weakest link, and that they can be in kind of control of where their future adventures are going. Sometimes when you don't feel capable of being a leader, you feel at the mercy of going on other adventures with other people, which is fine when you're starting out and you're learning. You want to go with other people to learn from them. But eventually, when you want to step into that role of planning your trips and feeling like self-sufficient and in control and taking real ownership of your safety, you're going to want to start stepping into that leadership role. Because once you do step into that leadership role, you can start to tick off way more of your dream adventures outside. So maybe a lot of things feel really out of your realm, but once you start taking on leadership role and learning the skills that you need to know, you can kind of go on any trip that you can think of. Like I just put a few in. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time since, 2013 was my first backpacking trip. And since then, and stepping into my own personal leadership role, I'm typically always the person organizing backpacking trips. Like I have all these tick list of trips that I want to go on, and I'm planning them. Like I planned the Trans-Catalina Trail. Sometimes there's big hikes that I want to go on. This middle photo is a picture of Telescope Peak. I pretty much did all the planning for that one as well. Mount Langley, I've done solo, and also I did it with a friend, and I led that trip too. So me having the ideas and being willing to be the leaders of those trips kind of helped make those dreams come to reality, because people are so much more willing to go on trips with you when you have the details planned out, you're taking care of the logistics, and you feel like you're in control. It's just true. It's way easier to convince people to go with you. I also want to talk about one of my students, Heather. She took my program last spring. And I love her story because she wanted to learn this new skill for herself. She wanted to go outdoor backpacking, but she wanted to also take her family. So when she learned all the things in the program and started training and doing all the skills and getting the gear that she needed, she learned how to take the leadership role and her family unit and outdoors, and her family went on their first backpacking trip this summer, and her kids were totally stoked on it. So they're seeing that in their mom, and how like she's kind of taken this on and taken this leadership role, and then they're getting stoked on it. And I talked to her recently, and she said that they're planning a big thing in Denali next, and it's super, super exciting. Also, another thing I wanted to mention is that you don't have to wait for others. So I've kind of mentioned this before. You don't have to wait for others when you don't know who's going to go with you. Like, for instance, in California, I'm often grabbing permits because a lot of trails in California, especially popular trails, require that you have permits in advance. So what I would do is in January, I would kind of plan out my biggest trips way in advance, and I would have no idea who would go with me. So I'd usually grab 2 to 3 extra permits, just knowing that when I get there, like this is a trail I really want to do. It's been on my list. And when I get there, I'll do all the detailed planning. I'll make sure everything is good, all the maps, all the GPS, all that stuff. And then I'll invite a friend and be like, just convince them it's going to be the most amazing experience of their life. And then I usually always find people to go with me because I am in that leadership role. I've done all the planning. I've got all the permits. People are like, yeah, let's do it. So, it's great. So like when you don't know who's going to go with you at the beginning of the year, you can still kind of plan ahead and then make those plans, or even go solo. You know, you have that leadership ability. You'll be able to just decide whether you need to go with other people, or if you feel confident enough in yourself and your skills to go even do that on your own, which is also another option. Sorry, I got like the shivers and I'm cold. Okay. So, the beauty of stepping into a leadership role in your group is that it's much easier to convince people to go with you when you've literally done all the planning and prep for them. And I've already talked about this. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm just reiterating it again. To summarize everything that I talked about in today's training, the 3 benefits, or my 3 favorite top benefits to prioritizing outdoor adventure in your life, whether that looks like 1 trip a quarter or whatever it looks like for you and your schedule. I think it's really important to prioritize this and getting outside, especially if it's what lights you up and what lights your soul up. It's for your own personal self-care, resetting, feeling that peace, to help you grow your mental strength and your resilience both on the trails and in life, and to help you step into a leadership role so you can do more of what you love and lead your friends and family on amazing experiences in the outdoors. I want to challenge you, now that you've listened to this whole training, I want to challenge you to prioritize getting outside and going on outdoor adventures in your life, even if you do feel time poor. So spend some time, and I'm actually going to be holding some sort of like planning workshops later as we get closer to the new year, but be thinking kind of ahead of time, like, what are some of those things you've been putting off, or dream trips or trails you've been putting off that you really want to do? Just start making a list and then come back. We'll do a workshop on planning at the beginning of the year and understanding what that looks like for you and your schedule, like a realistic plan for you that is helping you prioritize something that you really want to do in your life. Give yourself the permission to do what you love and what helps you grow. It will only benefit everyone in your life when you show them that when you chase your dreams, take care of yourself, and teach them what resilience, strength, and courage look like. Okay, that is all I have for you today. That's the end of our training. If you liked this training and you want to go deeper with me, the best way to do that is to get on my email list. You can grab this freebie. I have the Ultimate Outdoor Adventure Starter Kit. It's 15 pages of hiking and backpacking, rock climbing, and just general outdoor mindset, inspiration and tips to get you started. And that also gets you on my list where we take the conversation even further. You can grab that at shedreamsofalpine.com/adventure. And I'm really glad you are here. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much. And yeah, let me know what you learned today and drop something in the comments, say hello, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, goodbye.